Well, hello, this is Dr. McIntosh here with the ACT and SAT program, Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Tulsa. I'm here this week to talk to you about really developing those study skills that are going to help you to soar as you are either in distance learning or when you return back into brick and mortar face-to-face instruction. So knowing that this week I'm going to be sending out a PowerPoint to you that really walks through some different techniques that are really helpful, and I'm going to talk about a three-part study strategy as you prepare for class each day. I'm going to talk about some of the best practices for before a class starts, while a class is currently going on, and then also after a class has ended. I know many of you at the secondary, at the high school, middle and high school level, you have several classes that you attend each day. Please know that that also continues when you go to college. And so knowing that, I'm going to begin by talking about how can you best prepare for class each day. Knowing what your class is each day and knowing your schedule, because you will have probably already had a time management book, some form of a calendar, you know what classes you attend and the days that you attend. But knowing when your class begins, that helps you to further know in my mind, okay, it's Monday, I have a 9 o'clock math class, what do I need to do to prepare? First, I would also look at my syllabus or the classroom schedule that you have been given by your teacher to know what specific lesson that you will be covering or what that class will be covering that day. And I would go ahead and prepare and take a glance at the chapter that's going to be or the lesson that's going to be taught during that day. Become familiar with the vocabulary words that are associated with that lesson. Make sure that you're kind of getting a general understanding. You might even take it upon yourself to go and do a quick Google search on that specific topic, that skill, or the lesson that may be taught that's upcoming. Nevertheless, you want to be already familiar with the journey that you will be guided on from your classroom teacher. So make sure that you take the opportunity to do a preview of the lesson prior to the start of class. Now we come to during class. What can I do to be successful during class? Well, first making sure, as I've said earlier, you've taken a preview of the lesson, familiar with key terms and concepts ahead of the time for the class to meet. But I would also make sure that I have a notebook readily available or a Chromebook, something that I can take some general notes. I want to make sure that I'm free of distraction during class. I want to make sure that I'm sitting up properly and that I'm fully engaged and that I've had enough rest the night before. I know that sometimes we have work and other obligations or watching younger siblings and just helping out in the family during this time of COVID-19. But nevertheless, make sure that you are actively engaged and that you are fully equipped to participate and to ask questions. If there's something that you don't understand in a lesson, stop and raise your hand, or if your teacher has communicated at a certain time they will take questions, make sure you write that question down. Just jot it down so you'll remember it. And then when it's time for questions, make sure that you ask those questions. You never want to leave a class, whether it's online or whether it's face-to-face in person, with all of your questions not answered. You never want to leave, because at that time, that's a crucial time when you're still processing and understanding new material, and it will better serve you when you're able to remember it in recollection when you ask the questions that you have. So then, what do I do once I've finished class? And now I may be back in my dorm, or I might be back at home now, or I might have just disconnected from Zoom. How can I best move forward with my lesson that I've just learned? I would say any notes that you have written down, I would definitely review those within 24 hours after you have completed a specific class. I would also make sure that if I was given an assignment that pertains to that lesson, that I would go ahead and get it done completely as soon as possible. Therefore, also using my notes to help me, in addition to also really, if it's a chapter or if it's a lesson or a section within a larger chapter, I would take a reread just to ensure that I have fully understood all of the conceptual matters of the framework that was introduced in the lesson originally. Listen, this has been Dr. McIntosh here, helping you prepare not only for your now, but for your tomorrow. Those who prepare today are more prepared for success on their tomorrow. So please know we want the best for you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and have a blessed week.